So you're at a party and you feel weird. You don't know where you don't know where to put your hands. You don't know how to approach people. You're with your friends, but they're off talking with somebody. And actually, you might not be with your friends, right? You might not know anybody. And it's a social event in which you should feel great, right? Teenagers love doing parties and talking to a bunch of people, and yet you don't seem like a normal teenager, right? You're watching these videos and your social skills are just absolute garbage. Like, let's be real. If you're watching this video about like tips to get better social skills, then your social skills are probably not that good. So what I'm gonna give you are like the 80-20 rule of social skills. Like, the 80-20 rule is 20% of the stuff you do gives you 80% of the results. Well, 20% of like rules and tips in social skills will give you 80% of the results. So simply, if you implement these small tips, I guarantee you'll feel so much more comfortable in social situations, and you'll make more friends, and you'll feel a whole lot happier overall. So number one is to actually warm up. So, you know, like before practice or before games, right? You warm up, right? And like in any type of sports, you see people warm up. Well, you never do that in social events, right? You just go into a social event just like cold turkey, right? You don't actually like talk to other people before getting into a social event. So you're not in this social flow. Like something I'm gonna talk about next. Like, you go in not having talked to anybody, and so when you initiate contact, it kind of feels weird, right? You're kind of in this weird mode where you're not really talking to anybody. You're using self-improvement as an excuse to be like, you know, I'm not going partying because I'm losers and blah blah blah. Not really relevant. But imagine if before going into a party, you're walking to a party and you give a compliment to every stranger you see, right? You give a compliment to every stranger you see. They smile back, they give you a compliment back, and you feel this really like light, positive mood, right? That's what we want. And simply by engaging in conversation with people before you're actually in social events, simply like carries a positive energy from your good interactions into the social event. So simply try to talk to people before going into basically any event, right? Like, you're going to school, and before you get into class, you meet with a couple of friends, and now you're not nervous for that presentation, right? Simple. The next two tips are simply to use people's names as much as possible. Once you learn something, use that name as much as possible, because people absolutely love Jerome. It's their favorite name in the entire English dictionary, so use their name as much as possible. The second one is compliments. People also love to be complimented. This is a practice that I do whenever I'm going out on walks and I see someone. I will compliment them on something that I don't know. I like their hat, I like their picture, and I'll let them know. And that's a really easy way to kind of train this compliment building, because you probably rarely get complimented. Like, men don't really get complimented. I don't really know if that's changed, but right, like, if you can be the guy who gives out compliments, like genuinely gives out compliments, you'll be just liked so much better. But don't do it in this like false, narcissistic way, which like, you're giving compliments so you can get attention. Like, don't give shallow compliments. Give compliments because you really mean it. There's actually something to like about the person. So the next tip is physical touch. So like, it is important to make physical touch, because with the person you're hanging out with, right, when you see your friends, you're usually dabbing. That's pretty normal. But with the person you don't know, right, it can be quite weird to like engage in physical touch with them. So, I don't know, if you're at the gym and if you see a guy you want to go talk to, if you're a girl you want to go talk to, just like walk by them and talk to them. And then like the next time you go talk to them, maybe they'll feel like you because they actually like you. Maybe they notice you're likable because they've seen you engage with them simply by breaking the physical touch. A simple fist bump is all it takes to really like start a whole relationship, right? Because body language extremely important when it comes to social skills, and so breaking the physical touch is as important. I hope that makes sense. So the last tip, which is actually something I've never actually like heard people talk about in the whole social skills niche, there's a niche for that, it's actually to meditate. Because meditation is the single greatest way to reduce overthinking, and overthinking is probably the single greatest reason why you're not doing good in social situations. Because you're too smart, right? You know too much stuff about social skills, right? You've learned about names, compliments, physical touch, warm up, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta I haven't done my social more